Sorry about getting cut off. I will try to speed this up. I was on the age differences bullet, and basically the digital literacy piece was that older adults might be more inclined to share without verifying because of that digital literacy piece. Also, just being unfamiliar with how fast things are changing. And the implications of this confirms that emotionally charged misinformation reinforces existing biases. So future research, there are a few areas that I think there would be really valuable future information that still needs to be researched. And first was that piece I mentioned a few minutes ago about the how distrust very likely leads to also reduced empathy. And then again, the dominoes would continue to fall with stereotyping and basically the social cohesion disappearing. And additionally, exploring longitudinal effects of repeated misinformation exposure. So instead of just randomly, taking all of these different aged people and at one point in time, seeing how they feel or how they think, taking the same group and following them over time, perhaps even maybe in election years when a lot of misinformation tends to appear. So, third, including underrepresented platforms like TikTok or Discord, I think would be a really valuable place to do future research because most sites that have been used are like Facebook. So, different platforms definitely need represented. And finally, test interventions, I think would be a really, really interesting place to research because if you can pre-bunk, so like I was saying, in election years when there's so much misinformation out there, if you can give people some immunity, basically. So it's a proactive method that builds resistance by teaching users to spot manipulative tactics before exposure, so that if they see like a deep fake image or a sensationalized headline, they would be less likely to share it and more likely to fact check. And again, it does build immunity against misinformation. So, in conclusion, and then talking about practical significance, misinformation and cognitive bias interact to reduce empathy and trust. Findings can inform media literacy education, which everybody needs regardless of age. We are just in that time period. Also, counseling and group bias reduction, policy and platform interventions. And the goal of these three together would be to foster empathy, reduce polarization, and strengthen digital resistance or digital resilience. Critical thinking and empathy are antidotes to misinformation, and we all need a little more education. I have 2 slides of references, and they are alphabetized and there for you to look at. Thank you so much for listening. Sorry this went much longer than I intended, and have a good evening.